Hey everybody, it's me, the host of the show, Beowulf, and I'm here to do a special secret bonus episode. And this is kind of crazy. I don't really do this kind of thing a lot of the time. A lot of the time we're doing it live over twitch.tv, but for this one I thought this could be a super secret bonus episode that you could watch over on YouTube. Now when you're on YouTube, what you're going to want to do is hit that subscribe button and tap that bell icon also so that you can get notified anytime I'm uploading a couple of videos that came down from Twitch. But hey, it's the super secret bonus episode. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Paranormal Expo that I went to last weekend. It was a lot of fun. I got to see some cool, weird, crazy stuff. I got to meet some interesting people, and I'll get into how that went down, how successful I was at documenting this event, taking some pictures. I got a few videos that I took, and I'll be sharing some websites. I got a whole slew of business cards, and I learned a lot of interesting things over at the Paranormal Expo. So stay tuned. It's going to be a short one, but we'll just go through all this. I'll recount my experience at the Paranormal Expo here at the super secret bonus episode of the Cool Stream. And click that subscribe button below and tap the bell icon. And just settle in here. It's going to be a fun episode. Let's see what we got pulled up. Oh, yeah. I don't have anyone in the chat to talk to me today, so that kind of stinks. And I hope I can make some good enough jokes. And we don't want to hear that song again. Oh yeah, it's the Paranormal Expo. It was creepy and weird, and look, there were UFOs flying about, and Bigfoot was there. Whoa. It was crazy. It was crazy cool. That's right, it was the Paranormal Expo, and I want to say part of the reason why I decided to do this as a super secret episode is that, well, a little spoiler alert is that in this episode, I may or may not be revealing some information about where I may or may not be located, the region to which that I may or may not reside, and I didn't want that necessarily viewable to the freaks and trolls over on Twitch. Only to my most devoted fans, and I will be looking to see who watches the episode, and if it doesn't get enough views, I will be very... Just kidding. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you're curious about the Paranormal Expo, I teased it up, and everyone out there was like, hey, go out there with your selfie stick and film it and stream it, and I was like, no, that would be crazy. I don't really have the charisma, I don't have the experience really as a big-time streamer. And I don't have the, what's the word I'm looking for? Shamelessness to go out with their selfie stick and swing it all over the place and say, hey, you're live, you're on the stream. And you're like, what the hell are you talking about? Get out of here. But it was a little bit like being at a freak show at the Paranormal Expo, I guess. It's kind of strange, but here it took place. Here's the official website of the Arkansas Paranormal Expo, 9th annual, and there was Bigfoot and UFOs and everything, and it took place at this creepy cool place, the MacArthur Museum of Arkansas Military History. The Tower Building was built in 1840, and look, it looks creepy as hell. It's a pretty cool, neat building. There was a lot of stuff about the museum that I looked at, pictures about the Civil War and all that kind of stuff. I didn't really get a chance to read any of that because I was too focused on all the ghosties and ghoulies. And there may have been some in this building itself, but I didn't see any ghosties and ghoulies that day. I just saw people at their tables and they were hawking their wares and all that kind of stuff. So I went up to the Tower Building, which is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. It's also supposedly the birthplace of General Douglas MacArthur. Isn't that crazy? So the Paranormal Expo is a big, great event. The APE organizers, they've added all kinds of stuff about UFOs, Bigfoot, cryptozoology, psychics, phenomena, ghost hunting, ghosties and ghoulies, and all things that go bump in the night. and it provides you an in-depth education, and I'll be the judge of that, whether or not I got an in-depth education on that day. Oh, and of course, I signed up for the raffle, and I didn't win anything, but they had all kinds of stuff, Kindle Fire and gift baskets and Razorback tickets and all that cool stuff. And there's some people here. We'll talk about this guy, of course. Here we go. There's a picture of, it was $10 to get in. All these nice people were giving some speeches. I didn't really get to see a lot of those, but I'll talk about some of these people here listed on this here graphic. So, I'll just give you the chronology of what went down at the Paranormal Expo. It was spooky and weird and crazy. So, let's switch up the music here. Let's go to the next song. So what happened? Well, I woke up and I had some coffee. And that's the sound of my coffee bubbling up. And I went over to the museum. So I was walking up there. There were some vendors outside set up in the front here, in front of the building. And I kind of immediately was like, not really sure what to do here. I kind of averting my eyes. It's kind of awkward with some of these fairs. You go up and people have tables and stuff, and you're curious. You're like, what is this stuff? Is this ghosts? There was a booth that was like CBD for your dog and all kinds of stuff. Jams and jellies or some CBD jelly, or I don't know what it was. It was weird. And I was curious about all of it, but, it's kind of weird engaging people when you're like, I'm not really a big ghost guy. I don't really believe in that kind of stuff, but I'm interested in it, and just wasn't quite sure how to approach going to this thing, how to interact with some of these people, and that's just kind of something that I deal with in general, is what the hell am I supposed to do when I talk to people? All right, getting a little too real here. Anyway, so I walked up. There you go. That's kind of where I was standing with the alien. I walked up. There was an old lady who was there walking up the stairs very slowly, so I walked up, heaved open that big door. It was this old crusty building from the 1800s, back in the Civil War days. It's still standing. Went up there, paid my $10. They explained all about where everything was. And on the first floor, they had the psychics. Let's see what some of those psychics were up to. I was interested in the psychics. This is kind of cool. And of course, it was all intermingled, interspersed with some Civil War military history. So it's kind of cool. I was maybe a little more interested in the museum part of it than I was the psychics and stuff. But I wormed my way around this corridor. There were a couple of psychic tables, people doing readings, and I was like, this could be cool. I could do some video, but then they might not want me filming someone doing their reading because it's something that costs money, and it's like, I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll get a reading. How about that? Maybe I will get a reading. Let's see. Is there someone here that has a website maybe that I can pull up? Well, this table was the Phoenix Risings table. And I checked out that table, and I saw a couple other tables, and I thought about getting a psychic reading. But guess what? It cost $20. I was like, damn it, I can't do $20. I paid $10 to get into this thing. I can't do another 20 for a damn psychic reading that I think is just a bunch of but it could be kind of cool if I'd ask questions about the show and like, do people like the show? Am I going to have a good show this week? Those kind of questions that could potentially pertain to what I was doing here. But I chickened out. It cost too much money. I walked around. I found this Phoenix Risings table there towards the end of the corridor. Sort of a dead end there, and they had some crystals and stuff, and one day we'll do a crystal episode. Some different crystals there, but telling you what you can do with those crystals. You can shove them up your ass. I've got a new sound too. Check this out. Oh man. Okay, I gotta move this along. Don't have a ton of time to do this episode. And it's a live recording, so it's kind of like I'm there live on the Twitch, except I'm not. I'm pre-recording this whole episode. Okay, so I was at the Phoenix Risings tables, taking a look at all this stuff, and okay, crystals, and I didn't really want to talk to this guy because I Just wasn't sure what I was going to get into, and I thought maybe if I was more interested, I could head back. But I got their business card, and I checked out their website, and it's kind of a nice website. Phoenix Rising, it started as a tarot service. I'm just kind of plugging all these people on the show, so I hope they appreciate that. Started as a tarot service. Whether it's through events, people, or past lives, the cards show the direction and application. Evolved into what I call an Akashic reader, as my reputation and referrals are mostly past life readings now. Huh. She doesn't do any adult tarot readings. Any kind of like cards that are very horny, I guess. So she does readings all across this area that I may or may not be residing at this current moment. She's scheduled place of their choosing. She's done wedding receptions, parties, corporate events. So at your next corporate event, you can do some psychic readings. That'd be kind of cool. I also do any of my readings by phone. In fact, I only do manifestation and any type of soul reading by phone. Soul reading, yeah. Because of length and time and the less distracting environment I need, I do not do them at public venues. Maybe I could do a phone psychic reading. And of course, the phoenix is that mythical bird that you know and love with the fiery plumage that lives 100 years. So anyway, it was just a lady doing some psychic readings, and her husband was manning this table here with the crystals and stuff, and they had some cool t-shirts, and I'll show you one of the t-shirts that I got there a little bit later. So I checked out the psychics. I said, this psychic reading stuff is too expensive. I think I'm going to go upstairs. And here's the song where I go upstairs. Do, 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 do. And what did I see, and what did hold for me within that upstairs realm is none other than a very cool and interesting thing called Uper lights. Now you're thinking, what the hell is that? That sounds weird as hell. What is that? I think that was the second booth I went to, but that's according to this, what I'm talking about, that is what it's going to be. Uper lights. What is that? Well, they're these crazy rocks that glow in the dark, and you need a special flashlight to look at them. As seen on CBS News, NBC News, all the different newses, they got all the kinds of crazy rocks. And they've been hand-selected by Eric Rentamaki. That's the guy who discovered the Uper lights. And is there a little section? Let's check out the frequently asked questions. And it's talking mostly about shipping, and I would like to know more about the Uper lights and not about how to buy them. How to find. Well, do I have anything else that explains what these damn rocks are? Well, as a matter of fact, I have a video that'll show you. Check this out. This is some video footage that I got live, and that's not it. And, well, it's all ass backwards, out of order. Here, check out my Dropbox account. Let me get up this. Oh, well, here's a video. Well, how about that? How about that? Frickin' frick. Here's a video that explains the Uper lights, and then we can watch my video that I recorded myself.
When I found these, I had no clue what I had found.
He was like, what the hell?
I just could not figure out what they were, and no one could give me an answer.
He said, I want answers, and no one could tell him what the hell they were. I talked to this guy. Can you believe that? A real-life man who discovered the Uper lights. That's right.
There's something magical about finding these stones on the beach at night in the dark. There really is, and it's hard to explain. You can't capture it on video.
It's
you
crazy
can't capture
weird
it
is what it is.
You have to do it in person.
Look at these things. They're cool. They wash up on the shores of one of these lakes in
You have
Michigan.
something that's never been found in Michigan before.
Whoa! Whoa! Story of the Uper lights. These are some crazy rocks, and I don't think there's anything psychic or paranormal about these things. They're just some cool rocks. And this guy wanted to come down and share his rocks with the world. I don't have time to watch this whole video, but I hope it gives us a little history about some of these crazy rocks. I hope. There's the man himself, Eric Rinktamaki. There's his rock tumbler.
Rock collecting, that'd be for my dad, Ray Rintamaki. He started me off on the beach as soon as I was a couple weeks old, taking me out to the beach looking for rocks. I still have my very first rock I've ever found. My mom painted it, put my name on the top, and put Eric's first trip to the beach with Dad on the back. So I still have the very first rock.
Maybe that was a damn
I grew up
light.
on the beach. As soon as the ice would start melting in the springtime, my dad would take me and my brother and my sister. We'd all be heading out to the beach every opportunity.
I'd love to know what body of water this is. One of those Great Lakes up there. I don't really know.
It's gotten harder and harder and harder to find.
Didn't really do my
agates,
research.
Lake Superior agates with everybody going out hunting, and I figured if I go out with a black light, maybe I can find an easier way to find agates. You know,
there we
maybe
go.
I can find agates at night.
Might find something else too.
I end up buying one little light. I went out 3
One
times.
little light is
didn't
all it
find
took.
anything.
And then
On my 4th time, I was on my hands and knees, literally like inches away from the beach, and found 3 in a circle about 2 feet around. And start woohooing and yipping on the beach,
what the frick?
not having a clue what I found.
Wow. These are crazy. What are these things?
I went home, I got on Google, searched all Google images for fluorescent minerals, couldn't find anything that looked like them. I went on Facebook to the fluorescent mineral page and posted a bunch of pictures, took them to rock
Facebook
shows.
page?
I couldn't find anything.
You went to
and
the
I
rock shows
just could
and
not figure out
everything.
what they were. And no one could give me an answer. I just came up with a name for them. I wanted something that represented where they're from and what they do. So I wanted Yooper for where they're from, the UP, and then
UP.
light is what they do, they light up, so Yooper light. And it stuck.
Yooper light. Let's check out my video that I did. You can see these things in person. Now, I don't really have much other info for you, so you can check those out. Yooper lights, if you want to know. Here's my video, and you can hear me talking in the background, maybe. Here they are. It was in this super special dark room, and you can see them all lit up there. And here they were, just in a bunch of boxes and stuff. Then you take that flashlight, and whoa, they light up big time. Look at those things. That was cool. I kind of wish I'd bought one, but I don't have the special flashlight for it. And that's kind of the thing about these lights is that you gotta have the special flashlight. And I think that's something I mentioned here when I'm on this video. Let's see. I'm gonna roast myself too. If I say anything weird, you better believe I'm gonna make fun of myself.
You can get kind of like this, where you can have like a display set up. Yeah, I sell bulbs with 3 LEDs. They're $30 on my website.
$30.
Or if you need one, I can bring one tomorrow. I have some back at my Airbnb.
So I was asking about the lights, so I thought, I'm gonna buy these freaking flashlight for these things. But he had kind of a cool display. If you'll notice here at the very beginning, that's kind of cool. I have a little pedestal with some of these crazy rocks on them. But you would need a type of lamp with this special UV light, and that's the only way that you'll see these damn rocks. So it's kind of, it's cool. It's a cool discovery, but also you need $60 damn freaking flashlight to look at these things.
With 3 LEDs, they're $30 on my website.
Okay. He had some at his
Or
Airbnb.
if you need one, I can bring one tomorrow. I have some back at my Airbnb.
And I said, no, I don't think that will be necessary.
Oh, yeah. Touch all this stuff, yeah.
I don't think that is necessary, sir.
Please do take all the pictures you want.
You can have your light up bracelet. As long as you...
The first bucket on the far left there.
Wow.
Back behind those are 5, and then
Oh, there's some
$10,
knives
$10.
back there. I didn't even see those.
Yep. Size doesn't matter, it's how bright they are.
That's right.
And there's flashlights in each
Funny.
bucket. That,
Said size doesn't matter. It's kind of funny. Funny guy. You like my video? Like the video?
Know, would you?
Weird. That was the cool display that he had of the Yooper lights. So check it out. Check out those Yooper lights. Google them. and learn more stuff. And I don't have time to explain everything to you because I gotta get this episode going. Hyper lights. All right, so our next person that we found, this was kind of cool. Went over to this table here. Went over to this table and was looking at some cool books at Ozark Mountain Publishing. And it was founded by this lady here, Dolores Cannon. And boy, did they have some crazy cool books. Let's go back here to the... This is just a great setup that I have going on here. Let's scroll around. I just gotta, spoiler alert. Is this it? I don't know. This thing is off the rails already. Okay, here it is. This is some of the crazy books they had at their Ozark Mountain Publishing. Legacy from the Stars. Operation Lightning Strike. And I talked to her for a long time, or she kind of talked to me, so I don't know how interesting this conversation is, really. But I was curious about these conversations with Nostradamus. I was like, what? And I like the illustration. I like that. I liked it. And I'm not going to watch this whole thing. In about 5 minutes for her talking about stuff. And I'm just kind of like, okay. But they had some cool books with some cool covers on them. I guess she'll kind of explain something here in a second. This is live footage from the Paranormal Expo. There's all the books and some DVDs. That's me. Good. I'm doing good.
Are these... Is this like channeling that someone did with...
Do you know who Dolores Cannon is?
No.
Dolores Cannon
The hell is that?
The person that founded Ozark Mountain Publishing.
Oh, okay.
And she does past life regression.
Okay.
She did.
What the hell does that mean?
And so one of her clients actually, in a past life, connected with Nostradamus.
Wow.
Her past life regression connected with Nostradamus, and then Nostradamus came through.
Wow.
Okay, so she was...
So yeah, she channeled, but it was under hypnosis of a client.
Through someone else?
Yes.
Okay. Huh.
I'm like, hi, yeah.
Huh.
So yeah, she channeled.
Yeah.
But it was through her client that he came through. And then these are the 3 books that she wrote about.
Nostradamus.
Okay. But most of her stuff is like...
It's freaky.
This one,
oh, that one's weird.
She did a past life regression, and this person was there and witnessed the bombing. So
That's
these
freaky.
are like the alien ones where
Now that's freaky.
she, again, past life regression, and these people spoke with aliens, were abductees, different things like that.
Wow.
What is the past life regression?
Okay, here we're getting good here. Good question. Self.
I've had a reading, but I've never been under hypnosis. So I'm new to the company, so I'm still kind of learning.
New to the company.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
I'm not sure, but yeah, I've heard, familiar
Right,
with
so
it.
you know about reincarnation.
Yeah.
So I guess for it to hold...
Do you believe in reincarnation? I don't know. I guess. That's a big question to unravel there. Anyway, she's going on and on. Some of the cool books they have at the Ozark Mountain Publishing. Metaphysical Spiritual Book Publishing. Are we seeing this? That's right. They got all kinds of crazy books. Books of interest. Listen to the Metaphysical Hour. Upcoming events. You got some of your favorite authors here. Aaron Hoops. You got Guy Needler. Manuela Storzer. All of your favorite authors. L.R. Sumter. Ghosts and UFOs. Reconnecting to the earth. All kinds of... What is this one? Headless chicken? What is that? Okay. She went to the Peruvian jungle or something. So you can check that out. The Ozark Mountain Publishing. Now the lady here, and it's popping up that I'm getting a little message. Want to learn more about Dolores Cannon QHHT? I don't know. What would happen if I clicked that? We'll never know. Dolores Cannon. There she is. She's a famous psychic or something. She's a hypnotherapist specializing in past life regression, spanned almost 50 years, and had taken her on an incredible journey across countless fascinating destinations. So, she traveled the world, raised her family in the Navy, and then she was using simple hypnosis for habits like stopping smoking, losing weight, stopping vaping. She was introduced to reincarnation when her husband were asked by one of the doctors at the naval base he was stationed to help his patient using hypnosis. The woman suffered nervous eating disorder. What? She was extremely obese, had high blood pressure, and suffered from kidney problems. Oh no. The doctor thought it would be extremely beneficial if hypnosis could be used to help the woman relax. Relax, lady! Come on, that's all you need to solve your kidney problems. Your high blood pressure. Midway through the session, the woman unexpectedly began describing scenes from a past life where she was a flapper, living in Chicago in the roaring 20s. Dolores and Johnny watched as the woman literally transformed into a different personality with different vocal patterns and body mannerisms. Despite being highly strange and completely inexplicable, they decided to go with the flow of the session and see what they could find out by exploring. Over the next several months, they regressed the woman through 5 different distinct lifetimes back to when she was created by God. Wow. The entire story of this event is told in the first book Dolores ever wrote, 5 Lives Remembered, back in 2009. Holy moly, that is crazy. There was no New Age movement yet. Metaphysics was still decades away, and there were simply no books or instructions or resources for a case like this. So Dolores was a freaking trailblazer, Yas Queen. She, I guess, talked to Jesus too. This is wild. I didn't have a chance to read any of this, but she discovered past life regressions where you do hypnosis and then people start talking about their past lives. I think I have a video of her talking about something, I don't know. Let's see here. Talking about crop circles? What? Quantum healing hypnosis technique is what it's called. We'll do some hypnosis stuff on another episode. Maybe we'll come back to old Dolores. Crop circles. I've heard of crop dusting.
I've been involved with the crop circle investigation since 1992. When I first went to England, the very first time, and I was into my first crop circle at that time with Alex Bartholomew, my English publisher. I knew about crop circles before then through the UFO conference that I was helping put on here in the States. But I'm not going to go into the history of it because most of you probably know that. But it was in the early 90s, into the 80s and the early 90s is when the designs began to get more complex. Before that, it was just like simple circles. Then a few years later, circles within circles. And then it began to get designs.
And then other circles.
About the end of the 80s, by the time I went over to England in 1992. I've investigated the crop circles many, many years, and I know all the investigators in the field. And it is a fascinating field.
It's fascinating.
Lucy Pringle, particularly, is the one who flies over the crop circles, and they take photographs of them.
That's cool. So that's a little bit of Dolores Cannon and Lucy Pringle and her crop dusting crew. For they're in England, I guess. So we gotta move this along. Some of the other stuff we ran into. We saw a guy doing some Egyptian tarot over in another room. And this is just a deck of Egyptian tarot stuff on our cool website called magiccauldron.com. This looks kind of cool. I don't know if this was the exact thing, and I tried to ask him about it, and he was like, I just kind of like Egyptian stuff, and I'm doing a reading. And I was like, okay. I thought he was doing it, here's a better picture. I thought he was just doing it for anyone that wanted to do it or something. That would have been cool, but no, it's kind of like playing solitaire with tarot cards. Solitaro, if you will. Oh yeah, and I thought of a funny joke about the Uperlights guy. Whoa, this is kind of cool. I thought of a funny joke about this guy. You need a black light to look at all those rocks and stuff. Uperlights, this guy, remember that from about 5 minutes ago? So he was telling me that you need these special flashlights to do this stuff. And he was like, he was telling me, I think, that some of these paranormal people could use these flashlights, and they would spend $60 on their special UV flashlight. And I didn't think of this at the time, but much later I had a funny joke where I thought, yeah, they would definitely see something if they were investigating a haunted hotel. They would see some of that ectoplasm splattered everywhere. You know? Think about that one. Noodle on that one for a second. All right. So we saw some ghosty people, ghost investigators, along with the weird tarot guy. He wasn't weird. He was fine. Just whatever. A lot of weird people. Gotta stop saying that everyone's weird. A lot of interesting people. So, we saw some ghost catchers. The proof is out there. You feel or see your first ghostly presence, capture your first EVP, photograph or video, and it makes you realize there's something more to the world around us than just the one we live in. That's when the journey begins. Spiritual side of communicating. So I was talking to these people, they were showing me some EVPs. Let me pull up the picture here I got of that. Put on the headphones, check out some EVPs, and I believe in one of their videos they used a ghost box, which I am just like, okay, whatever. Ghost box. So it said, listen to spirit voices, put it on the headphones. So they played me some of their EVPs. And I think one of the videos I found on their YouTube, there's Carol, or Dolores, whatever the hell her name is. This was the ghost catchers in the old hospital. I think they played this video, or it was on one of the videos they were looking at. So they use the spirit box, which plays the radio chatter, and then it sometimes will pick up a sound that sounds like
something. How many spirits are in this building?
Whoa. Wow. That's weird. I'm dead. I'm dead. In case you didn't notice, I'm a freaking ghost. I'm dead. They were the strongest EVPs I could share with you. Interesting note, most everything I captured were male. We only had females in the group visiting that night. Until next time, the ghost catchers in the old hospital. Just a couple of older ladies going down with their ghost catching stuff. So I checked out some of those EVPs, and they've got some on their website too. I was going to see if I could pull up some of these too. Wow. This is kind of disturbing. The EVP below is from my daughter who passed away in 2007. And that's very sad. Very sad to think about. And that's something to get into on the Afterlife episode, is how some of these ghost things overlap with some afterlife theories, and it kind of molds and melds together, but you know, it's not very fun to think about. Christmas after she died, I was trying to decide on making her an angel or halo Christmas ornament with Master Chief. That night, when I recorded, she spoke the words, "Mommy, I'm an angel." During my sessions, I asked if there's any spirits who would like to communicate. I never ask for names unless we're on location and are specifically trying to communicate with someone. And they had some of these on the supermoon. Let's see if I can... Crap. I have to use a different app to open this. Let's use this app here. Let's see if this will open. Oh, frick. Alright, forget about that. It's a WAV file. WAV file not compatible with what I got going on here. I'm not going to interrupt the show to listen to this stupid spirit box. I hate the spirit box. This is a cool documentary, Calling Earth. I watched a little bit of this. We'll talk about that on the Afterlife episode. This is a good song for what I'm about to see here. ITC water photographs. What? Experimenting with different techniques is part of learning to communicate with spirit. One of my favorite methods was created by Margaret Downey. And it's a form of ITC, instrumental transcommunication. Again, more afterlife stuff. We'll talk about that on a special upcoming episode. The method is time-consuming. It's a pain in the ass. So they basically just shine a light into a bucket of water and they move it around and then take a video and then pause it. And there you see there's a little face. There's a dog face, and a woman, and another guy wearing a hat. They're kind of weird. So they've investigated some places around this place that I may or may not be located at this very minute in time. And so I wanted to take a quick detour and show you a crazy cool place that I went to one time. That there's the museum. It's also had some hauntings. So people were asking me about that. Is this place haunted? Some people who worked there saw a ghost in the theater. Wow. This crazy looking green guy. They said he was asleep and he had a greenish tint. This was one of the ghosts in this museum. Freaky. There's a legend that two men had a duel in the basement and the staff claimed to see the shadowy figures moving around. Spooky as hell. There they are, this little Photoshop. You get the idea. A paranormal investigation group visited the museum. Investigators came in contact with 3 spirit entities. An investigator and a psychic met a friendly female presence, Catherine, who indicated that she was the one who played the piano, making the piano music heard earlier on the 2nd floor in the east room. Another investigator met a male presence near the Jeep display. That's kind of crazy. She was playing the piano. I was like, hey, that's me. I was over there playing the piano a second ago. How weird is that? So let's scroll up here. I wanted to show you this crazy house. Just real quick. This place is creepy. It's a bed and breakfast. It's an Airbnb now. It's a crazy house. I got to go into this house one time because some relatives were staying there. They're like, hey, we're staying in this crazy house. You want to come check it out? And we're like, sure. It was built in 1888, cost $20,000 by James Hornibrook because he was all horny. He's a colorful saloon owner, moved after the Civil War from Toronto. It was a Gothic Queen Anne style. It's Gothic as hell. And it's got this crazy, weird turret up top. And I got to go up into that turret because we were walking around, checking this place out. Looking in all the rooms. No one else was there. It was real creepy and weird. And we said, hey, let's go up in the attic. And we found this crazy turret. And apparently that's where the saloon keeper, Mr. Hornibrook, he was considered socially inferior by the genteel society. Maybe it had something to do with the card games and gambling that took place in the room in the 3-story turret. It says the gamblers kept an eye out for police in the turret. Well, sad to say, but Hornibrook, 2 years after moving into his home, died of a stroke in front of his house. The front gate is still there today. He was returning after hosting a gentleman's evening at his saloon. So he got so drunk he had a stroke. When the wife lived there, she died a couple years later. Some other stuff happened. They totally renovated it. Of course, they saw a damn ghost. There he is. Mr. Hornibrook haunts the mansion. Of course he does. Anytime you do renovations of these places, you know the ghosts are getting all stirred up and things get bone chilly. There was partying and stuff from the creepy room upstairs. Floating black mass. And I think I have a picture here. Oh, crap! Well, I had a picture somewhere. Anyway, I was up in that creepy room, right up there, and I can't even zoom in on this thing. I was up there, and it was stained glass everywhere, and it was a cool card room. It was very creepy to be there at night, and it seemed as though maybe they were doing some seances there, but apparently they weren't. They were just doing some partying, some late night gambling and stuff. So, just to jump back also real quick here on these ghost investigators, they played me their EVPs, and I was standing there at this TV listening to the EVPs, and there was one house that was like, it just said private residence, In this particular neighborhood, there's tons of these historic houses. They all have names. They're all like that one, the Hornibrook House. They're all semi-well-known as historic homes from the turn of the century. It's an interesting neighborhood. So I thought, this one just has private residence. Maybe I know this place. Maybe I've driven past it before. So I said, what is that house that you got these EVPs at? And they said, well, they told me the name, and I said, aha, I do know that house. I know the person that lives there. Isn't that crazy? So, and I'll tell you, and I'll follow up on the story. Should I tell it? Should I save it for the end? No, I'll tell it right now. Because I got to do this show. I got to do this. For some reason, I'm doing a bonus episode right now. This is just weird. Okay. You ready for this? So after all was said and done, fast forward, smash cut to later that evening, I was having dinner with my roommate. And lo and behold, someone walked in, and lo and behold, it was the woman who owned the house that the ghost people came to. I was like, what? What are the odds? And they were like, hey, what's up, whatever. And I was like, oh, crap, I need to ask her about this ghost investigation. Sure enough, we went over there, and we were like, hey, I went to the paranormal investigator. Scrolling through all the videos here. I went through the paranormal investigator paranormal thing, and apparently these people were all up in your house doing a ghost investigation. And she was like, yep, they came to my house. I told them they couldn't use the name of the house because it had a famous name that people would know. It's been renovated. It's a beautiful house. She let the ghost investigators in there and was doing the spirit box, and she said that at one point the spirit box said shit. It said a swear word, and they were like, what? And then later she was saying they had all this crap that they brought with them. They were going all over the house, and they had this video camera that would detect the heat signatures of what was going on in the house, and it connected all the points together to make like a little stick figure. All right, I don't know what it's called. Don't have a good picture of it. Just imagine a little stick figure on a screen, and that represents a ghost, some sort of electric signature of this ghost. So she was saying the stick figure ghost that was on the screen that they were investigating was humping on the bed. So apparently her house is full of horny ghosts. And so anyway, I think it was very wise to not advertise the name of the house and have all these people come over and try to investigate the horny ghosts that live there. All right. So what else we got here? This is the special secret bonus episode. We're talking about the Paranormal Expo that I went to. Went over, we saw the Yeeper lights, heard some EVPs. Oh yeah, of course. We had our friend here who put on the Bigfoot Expo that I didn't get to go to. I got to see some big feet. Whoa. Got to check out some big feet, and I got a video of it too. You can see them in action. See the big feet tromping around. This guy, Robert Swain, he's part of the Mid-America Bigfoot Research Center, the Mabrook. And we've covered them on one of our Bigfoot episodes, the Mabrook. I think he's from Oklahoma. Here's his Bigfoot cast, and I think at some point he explains where they're from and all that stuff. And there was a guy giving us a talk in the background.
Hey, how are you doing? Good. You did the Bigfoot conference. Put that on a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I didn't get to make it, but
Yeah, it was good. We had
I didn't get to make it, the Bigfoot conference. I didn't really know how to talk to this guy. He did the Bigfoot thing a couple weeks ago. Was that cool? Yes.
between 200 and 250 people there. It was good. The speakers did a really good job.
so where did you cast these?
This is from Oklahoma about 4 years ago. This is my foot, so
It's his foot.
just for comparison scale. And this is from Falk about 2 years ago. This is from California.
That's a very famous Bigfoot.
1960s. These are from Washington State, and this is from around Perryville.
They said something about that one's from the 60s.
These are from Washington. This is from California from the 1960s. These are from Washington State.
And I meant to ask him about that. The ones that were from California from the 60s. Guess maybe it was from Patty. I don't know what it was from. I was so befuddled that I didn't know what to do, and so I got some video of me awkwardly talking to this guy. It's fun to watch this stuff. It's a lot of fun. But he mentioned the Fouke monster, which is a famous Bigfoot. And here it's the basis of the movie The Legend of Boggy Creek. So I thought we would watch the trailer for that movie. It's the famous Fouke monster. The Legend of Boggy Creek, and I think one of them, either the first one or the second one, was on Mystery Science Theater.
Here in this primitive river bottom wilderness in southern Arkansas, along with deer, duck, crane, and beaver, lurks a creature that walks upright. Whether it is a man, a monster, or a myth, no one really knows. What we do know is the people around Fouke, Arkansas say they have seen such a creature nearly 250 times since 1954.
Whoa.
And that this creature,
it's a swamp beast,
whatever it is, emits one of the most terrifying sounds ever recorded.
Beautiful ribeye steak.
Whoops. Stick on that. This is a B movie if you've ever seen one. Legend of Boggy Creek. The Fouke monster. If you're looking for a spooky movie, there he is. Freaking big fat. Kill him. Kill his ass. Fill him full of lead, boys.
The Legend of Boggy Creek, rated G.
Rated G? Are you serious? That looks scary as hell. Oh my gosh. Creepy stuff. Also, let's watch a little bit of this guy, Robert Swain. Oh, wreck, that's loud. Oh my Jesus. The Oklahoma Bigfoot Symposium. Here he is. And I thought he's kind of does a little stand-up set here. That's why I wanted to watch it. It's kind of funny.
Thank you very much. I've been an artist all my life. I'm kind of a simple guy. When I get the newspapers, I always turn to the funny pages first. Then I turn to the obituaries to make sure I'm not there, and then everything's good. But I started drawing these cartoons.
Laugh Squatch.
Back
This
in
video's called.
2006, when my boy was small, I was drawing them for him. And I've always been fascinated with the cartoons like The Far Side. Do you remember The Far Sides? That you could start and you could tell a story and throw a punchline in there and finish it all in one picture. And I've always been interested in that, and that's what I've tried to do with my Laugh Squatch. They're a one-frame cartoon.
Squatch.
I tried to get them syndicated, but I think the whole idea of Bigfoot was probably just a little too narrow for to be syndicated in newspapers. So instead, I wrote a book. And my book over there has about 75 cartoons in it. And on the opposite
he didn't have any copies of
my book is a
Squatch.
little commentary about the subject of the cartoon. So you can read and learn, and you can laugh at the same time. I'm in a special situation because I can make fun of anybody in this genre, and not get in trouble.
Roast your ass. Watch out.
I can make fun of DW, and he'll just laugh and not get mad. And you can make fun of any part of this research or what happens with Bigfoot. Some of my cartoons, I give Bigfoot the characteristics of people. Maybe they'll talk, or maybe they'll drive a car.
Let's see one of these
or maybe
cartoons.
They'll do this or that, and we know that that's not the case. But it's all in fun.
It's all in fun.
there's
Love
my buddy there
Bigfoot
in
and Laugh
last part.
Squatch.
So go ahead, DW. Let's start. I started drawing these years ago for my son, and he liked them, and then he shared them with some friends, and they shared them out in the Pacific
There's
Northwest
Bigfoot.
in
He
tall
stinks.
mountains and a lot of secluded places. Down here, it's more flat.
Flies
You're going to come
buzzing.
in contact with hunters more.
He's got flies buzzing around him. I don't have time to hear all that. We gotta finish up this special bonus episode. What else have we got to cover? Let's just blast right through it. There we go. We saw some Bigfoot stuff. Yay! Any other stuff that we saw? Any other things I needed to get to? Mike Ricksecker was the guy that I talked to for a second. Had kind of an awkward conversation. I was curious about some of his books, though. He told me about, he's a ghost historian. And well, I tried to click on the link there. Anyway, he had a bunch of books about some different areas. So it's combining a little bit of history and a little bit of ghost stuff, which it is kind of intertwined. Oh, there it is. Encounters with the Paranormal, Volume 3. The Haunted Mineral Hotel Edition. Of course, you read about all the haunted places, and so he goes through the rabbit hole. This looks like his podcast or something. This is my podcast. My show. Mike Ricksecker. Interesting guy, had all kinds of books. Wasn't too excited to talk to me, I guess, but I was also kind of not sure what to say to some of these ghosty guys. Sort of was feeling a little bit overwhelmed with what was going on. Who else did we have here? I think I've got a video for him. He's got some ghost gear.
So you're just starting out as a paranormal investigator and want to know what basic equipment to buy without breaking the bank. We've got the best paranormal equipment for the beginning ghost
That's
hunter
him.
coming up next.
Wow.
Welcome to Haunted Road Media. I'm author and ghost historian Mike Ricksecker. Explore
Ghost
with
historian.
us. So you want to investigate the paranormal. You want to ghost hunt.
Maybe if
But you
I
don't
bought
wanna
one of his
spend
books,
tons
he'd
of
be
money.
like, hey, now you're my friend.
I've been involved with the paranormal in some
Maybe
way,
not.
shape, or form since 1990, and our current team, Society of the Haunted, was founded back in 2011, so I'm speaking from my own experience. Just
Speak on that.
recently, on our full equipment video, Gabby B asked,
Gabby
would you
B.
consider doing one with the absolute necessities and cheaper for beginners? We've got you covered in this video, and what I'll do is I'll give you some basic idea about price and put links below in the description to those items.
Links
What I'll
below,
also do is
comment below.
the floors, soft
I'll
spots,
definitely let you know.
Stairs that you could fall down.
Oh,
it's
crap.
very, very dangerous to not be walking around with a flashlight.
Oh, yeah,
this is
you're
like
gonna want a
number one safety
flashlight.
item right
Number one right there.
But jot down notes during your investigation. You know, if there's something going on, note the time, note the room that it happened, note exactly what happened, note your experience. You
So
might
here
get
you're going to want to buy a
homeowners,
notebook.
Take some notes, and even with you on the investigation, take it with you, jot some things down that are going on. Absolutely essential. You're trying to
What is this thing?
communicate.
A cell phone?
$50, but to me, it's absolutely essential. You're trying to communicate with these spirits. So, what better way than to try to actually capture that onto audio? You may not be
Some
able to hear a
EVPs.
response with your own ears like a disembodied voice, but you can always go back over digital audio and listen to it later. So I want to make sure it has an output port to USB so that I can download it to the computer so I can listen back to it later. Put some big headphones on.
And rock out to the ghosty, ghouly sounds of the ghosts going, oh, I'm a ghost. Get the heck out of my house. Okay. It's about time that I wrap up this show. And we had all kinds of other stuff here. We had this guy, the Bell Witch. I didn't know what the hell this was all about. And we'll never know what it's about. Because we don't have time to do any more on this bonus episode. If you want to check that out, the Bell Witch. Kind of interesting. And then we had this guy. Maybe we'll come back to this guy. Ken Gerhard, cryptozoologist. A little plug for this coming up episode. And maybe this will date the episode a little bit, but our next one and all the spooky series is going to be about cryptoids. Cryptids. Cryptoids. So I didn't get a chance to see this guy. He wasn't there at his table. The other guy next to him was like, I'll be there back in a minute. He wasn't very helpful. But I was curious about some of the crazy cryptoid monsters that he had on his table there to get a little bit of info for that upcoming episode, which will be this week. This Saturday at 4 p.m. over at twitch.tv. So maybe I'll go see if there's other stuff with this guy. Ken Gerhard, the cryptozoologist. Talk about some of those crazy cryptoids. Then we had The Fringe, Lightning the Void with Joe Rupee. Real Talk with J.D. Lewis. They weren't broadcasting, they weren't doing much of anything. But they had a table there. Get the tea. That's the tea, baby. Those are a couple other tables. I don't think I have any other good pictures. But as I was leaving, and this is sort of like my bum 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 moment. This is good music for that. I was leaving. I was like, all right, I'm done. I got a shirt. Also, I got a cool shirt. Let me just show my cool shirt real quick. Dun 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 dun. Had lots of cool shirts here. I got this shirt. It's a damn yin yang. It's a yin yang. It's pretty cool. Got that shirt. Then, as I was leaving, I was like, "Oh, this is fun, I guess." It was cool. Then I saw a booth that had something very cool. This shirt, the Gurdon Light shirt. Gurdon Lightfoot. Decades-old phenomenon has been solved. Forget the swamp gas. Forget the electric quartz charges. Forget the ghost of Will McLean. It was him all along. It was Bigfoot. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what the heck is that? What is the Gurdon Light? And well, I'll tell you, and I had to buy this shirt. I went and ordered it from Rock Squatch Designs. This is a cool thing that I know all about. Okay, this is some of my own personal experience here. Is a spooky ghost light. If you go out on these railroad tracks, you can see the ghost light. And I saw this damn thing. And also I saw it way back when I was in high school. I went out on the railroad tracks with some friends. We saw the light, baby. And I found a cool documentary that has some funny old-timer guys talking about it.
All my life, I've loved to hear people tell stories. And when I was a kid, my dad loved to tell stories, mostly about the small Arkansas town that he grew up in. It was a pretty typical town, and most of the stories were pretty typical too, except for
Bunch
one.
of racist guys.
This story still sticks in my head today. It was the legend of the Gurdon Light.
Oh, crap.
The Gurdon Light is a light that travels down the railroad tracks. It comes out of the woods, gets on the tracks back and forth, and has been seen as far as from here to Prescott, that I know of.
Which is nearby town.
You just have to come see it. It floats about that high up off the ground. It's a light, white ball of light, about like that. It just floats out there. And the closer you get to it, it may jump off 10, 15 foot, or it may jump a half a mile from you. And I've seen it go up and over your head and come down behind you, go to the side of you. It's spooky.
The light starts coming on and going off, coming on and going off. And it went off when it got about 10 feet from us. The next time we saw the light, it was behind us.
What? First time I went down there, there's a carload of us parked at the crossing and walked down there, and I picked up a few rocks, and when they saw the light down there, it kept coming closer and closer. We was standing at the first trestle, and so I hauled off to throw a rock down that way, see if it kept going to continue to advance. And when I did, I fell through the ties of the trestle. So when I fell and disappeared from sight, everybody else took off running back to the car, and I finally extricated my leg from between the ties of the trestle and limped back up there, hoping they could skin my shin, and I was hoping they hadn't totally abandoned me, but they was waiting at the car. So that was my first experience with the light.
No one really knows what causes
And that fella there is a sort of a famous local legend guy who does artwork and stuff. Buzz Blur is a cool guy. Interesting. I went to his art show recently. Recent-ish. Sort of a famous guy in that area. He worked on the railroad tracks. He would do these cool... This music is weird. He would do these cool drawings on the trains of this cowboy character with these different phrases and stuff on them. Hobos. So anyway, I just thought I would point that out. Just to let people know of some interesting folks out here, some weirdo guys, and did some interesting artwork drawing on the trains. This cowboy. Okay. And let's see if this video even shows the light. Seen the light? Or this guy? This guy was kind of funny.
One thing was for sure. People that had seen it knew it was real.
This
Well,
damn
what
thing
I've
is
always
real.
heard all my life growing up was it was a railroad work crew, and the foreman was beat to death with a spike driver.
Crap.
And he's supposed to be out there looking for his head roaming around, roaming the tracks. That's what I've always heard growing up.
And the Garden Light, the theory is that there was a man that was the brakeman. They were switching cars from off the main track onto a siding. And supposedly he gave a signal for the train to stop. The train evidently didn't see his signal or didn't stop. And it knocked him down and supposedly came across and cut off his head. Now,
Yikes. Did they
More
show the
train
light?
trestles in this condition.
Does it show it? It's real, folks. I've seen it myself. I walked down the railroad tracks. Just a little light off in the distance. That's not it, but it's, kind of get the picture. It didn't do anything crazy. It didn't fly around or any of that like that one guy was saying.
I had the graveyard. I had basically an element from every story I'd ever heard. And before long, the light appeared.
Wow.
The coyotes were extremely loud, and the light was pretty nerve-wracking. The only way I could really capture an image of it was with long exposure photography.
Yeah.
It was so dark, there just simply wasn't enough light to capture it on video.
Whoa.
But that's okay, because that's not why I came. I didn't come to capture the Garden Light or prove anything, but I just wanted to be part of the group, the people that could tell stories. And now I definitely can.
So that's a cool documentary about this crazy light, crazy ghost light, and I've seen it myself with my own eyes. And that's why I had to have this shirt. And that's not it. And it's got Bigfoot holding the light. He'll leave the light on for you. It says over at Rock Squatch Designs. I bought the shirt because I've seen the light. I've seen the big feet. I've seen it all. I've seen all that I care to see and to care to talk about today. I hope everyone enjoyed the special bonus episode. We'll just pop on over to the intro screen again. I'll be uploading this, and you can watch it with your own eyes and your own ears. It's a lot of fun. Thanks for watching the special bonus episode. We'll be back with a regular episode on Saturday, twitch.tv/beat_wolf at 4 p.m. Central. It's when we do the show. Thanks for watching the special bonus episode about the crazy Paranormal Expo I went to. I hope I explained everything. It all made sense, and it was a lot of fun, and you had a lot of laughs. And also, if you could hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon, too. I love that thing. You'll get You'll get notified anytime that I upload something on there, and you can watch all the past episodes from the archive, all that good stuff. We'll see you later next time. Thanks for watching the bonus episode. We'll see you later next time on the cool stream, the regular cool stream. Bye-bye.